Hi guys, this is what you're looking at. Today we are having a airsoft tip how-to video. As you know, I've pretty much literally wired all my guns to Deans and batteries, which has left my King Arms no battery to test with. So I figured I'd go ahead and rewire it now, as since you know that's all I can use is my lipos and my other batteries that are wired to Deans. So basically I'm going to go over the things that you need to be able to rewire your gun to Deans, and then some tips and some things that should make it quite easily done for you if you decide to do this yourself. Okay, first off you're going to need some tools here, really simple things. If you don't have a vice grip, monkey wrench tends to work good. This is to hold your Deans connector down while you're putting wires on it. I really suggest having a vice grip. I just don't have one. Assorted sizes of pliers help. Having needle nose pliers, just have a bunch of different type of pliers. You never know what you might need. A lighter or a really hot heat source, something that's good for your shrink wrap after we're done, and at the end where you have to actually shrink your shrink wrap. And then of course, can't solder without a soldering iron. Sorry, I got it plugged in, so can't pull it over too far. My brother got me mine because he just had it lying around brand new in a box, but they're like anywhere from $5 to $15 at Radio Shack or any electronics store, so you really should have no problem finding it. Also, solder. I got a whole roll for like, I think it was $4.95, and I'm not even halfway done with it yet. I've rewired 6 guns, and I've rewired about 8 batteries by myself, so definitely you'll have enough solder to last you all of your guns. Whatever you will have enough. Okay, here we go. Since your Deans or your ultra plug connectors are different from your Tamiya, it is good to know which type of connector you have in your hand. Think of it as male and female. If you put common sense together, this would be a female connector, and all female connectors usually go on your battery unless you're some crazy person that doesn't do that. And then your male connectors go on the actual gun itself. As you see, you got a smaller set of tabs on the back to actually attach the wires to your gun, and then the other side to plug into the female connector into your gun. Your positive side, which is going to be your red wire, is going to be, if you can see that, the top is thicker than the bottom. It kind of changes shape with this ridge looking piece. The bigger piece is your positive, the bottom piece is your negative. Okay, your first step here is going to be to cut the wires, or take the connector, your current connector, which is you're going to be your large or small Tamiya connectors, off your gun. I'd say use either scissors or a pair of wire cutters. I'm going to just use wire cutters for the sake they're wire cutters. And basically, you're only going to want to cut one wire at a time. I've made this mistake before. If you cut both, reverse polarity would happen. I did that to a 1600 milliamp LiPo. Matter of fact, it was right after the unboxing when I got two of them after my first order from Hobby Parts. Completely trashed it, swelled up, got really hot, and I just threw it in the grass because I didn't know what to do. So basically, you're going to cut one at a time here. Also, a quick tip here: if your gun is brand new in the box, just like this King Arms M4, it's really most of them are going to come with some heat shrink around both wires to hold them stable to the Tamiya connector. This is a great time to cut off a lot of that if you need to. I choose to cut off at least half of it. That way I got a lot of space to put my my heat shrink on that I will be putting on after I put the wires on. That way it can move further down the wire. That way it ain't going to heat up a lot as it would if it was right here and shrink. That way you can't even put it on the connector. Okay, here we go. Trying to get this positive wire as much in frame as possible. Before you put your heat shrink on, before you put the connector on, it's good to make sure you go ahead and have solder on everything that's necessary, that being your Deans connector and the wire, because you want to have a little bit on both. That way it's easier for them to go together when you put the soldering iron on it. Because just in case you guys do not know the way soldering irons work, basically it's just a really high powered heat gun, and it melts the solder to your wire, attaching them together as some type of bonding agent per se. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. It's going to take me another minute to set this up. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start by doing the connector first. As you see, basically you're just going to get your solder in one hand. I like to use my right hand with a soldering gun. Basically, the solder is going to hit the soldering gun, and you're going to melt some solder onto your contact point. Now we're going to take some and put it on our wire. Okay, now you got solder on both. Go ahead and make sure you got your heat shrink on, because if you put your wires together without heat shrink, you're going to have to take it back apart, and that is just a pain. Okay, so here we go. Since I don't have a vice grip, I have to line my wires up as much as I can with the connector. So I'm using the mag that came with my gun, and it seems to line up pretty good. I like to kind of attempt to melt the solder under the connector and then push the connector, or push the wire right up on the connector. Okay, so our first connector's done. Just put a little light up there for a second or two. You don't need much. Now you can go ahead and move on to your second one. Just make sure when you cut your black or your negative wire that you cut it evenly with the red wire. That way it's easier when it comes to actually putting the connector to the wire. Okay, to speed things up here, I have cut the exposed end of the wire on the black one. I've put solder on both, and I've already got heat shrink on the wire itself. So just another clip of me dreadfully attaching wires again. As I said, vice grips, you would have been done by now. But hey, work with what I got, so can't really get mad at me. And here we go. Ouch. Yes, soldering irons do hurt if you're wondering. Okay, surprisingly that one went by a whole lot faster. Okay guys, here we go. Yes, still wearing the same exact shirt. I've literally probably made 8 videos today. 3 of them I've posted up. Today's May 3rd if you're wondering. And you're probably not going to see this video for like 2 weeks after today's date. But yeah, here we go. Finished product right there. I think I did an okay job. After you do it a couple of times, it gets easier. But as you see, soldering is something beginners can learn how to do and eventually be an expert at it. And in the end, it saves you a bunch of money too. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna plug in a battery real quick just to confirm that this does work, and that will wrap up the video. Keep in mind, I am hearing the gun for the first time, just like you are. Ooh. So 7.4 sounds really good, faster than I expected. Then again, that's what a Dean's does to your gun. That's pretty much it. This has been a What You Leaking At production. Sorry if it was boring, but a lot of people have asked me to do it since everyone else does. So I figured, hey, might as well do it since I'm doing it to this gun. Okay, pretty much it. What You Leaking At? I'm out.